light in traffic that is to be lowered and not where the speed limit is running 45 and 60 miles an hour. But the change came only after we got in a dialogue with the government bodies. Sometimes I know, in my experience, it was hard. Because usually when you saw the Afro community in the chambers of justice, there wasn't a diverse group that was standing with us until solid waste became an issue, not just for the Rogers Road community, but for Orange County in whole. Often when it came to the Rogers Road, it was the center of where most trash was being generated. But when they talked about putting a waste transfer station in the backyard or in a community that was not Afro-American, that's when we began to hear the word, not in my backyard, NIMBY, not in my backyard. But what we began to do, look at the laws that's on the books, how do we use those laws to bring attention to what was happening, the injustice, the impact on the quality of life and health. I would say to you that Occupy Chapel Hill have brought the attention to not just Chapel Hill, but the surrounding areas, how important it is for all of us to work together. How do we work with government bodies to make sure that changes are forever, that changes that occur, that we can't go back and change the laws. You have the freedom to speak. You have the freedom to assemble. But what we have to do, we have to talk to the politicians. We got to talk to law enforcement and see how we can work together to make sure that when we do assemble, we're not in fear of being arrested. When we assemble, that we are not going to be attacked by those that oppose what we do. But we have to learn how to work together to make sure that Chapel Hill becomes the place where we all can assemble, where we all can talk about the issues that we have. When we stand silent and see that our brothers that are being profiled, when we see that the workforce is being used and not being paid like day laborers, when we don't say nothing, who will it affect the next time? That's right. And so how do we come together and work together to make sure that the changes that we talk about become something that we all can appreciate?
We're working on it.
We have to work together. We have to look at the laws that are on the books. And we have to use those laws to help us do the things that we do. I would say to you, and I suggest, that we sat down with the different organizations, the different churches, and we began to give them the demands. Write them down, make them plain, so they would understand that in order for the changes to really occur, that we have to work together.
Yes, we do.
So I ask you, the next time that we go into the chambers of justice, that we have an agenda to give to the politicians, the Chapel Hill staff, as well as the Carver staff. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Minister Campbell. Next up is John Paul McClellan. He's from John Paul's Truth Quest radio show. He's also was state executive committee, precinct community chair on the Democratic Party, chief election judge in his East Side precinct currently, and he has his radio show on WCOMFM.org. And he wants you to know he's no longer associated with the Democratic Party.